Hello, friends. My name is David Trotter. I'm the founder and publisher of Awaken Magazine, and I'm excited to be with you here on Thursday. This is our book launch week for The Awakened Healer. As you can see, digital version and real life version. This book is 18 Pathways to Healing, Wholeness, and Conscious Living, and it features 18 amazing men and women who are sharing their healing wisdom with you. And so one of the things that we love to do when we launch a book here at Awaken Magazine is to have an opportunity for the authors to share about themselves, how they serve the world, about their chapters, the writing process, and all of that. This is actually the fourth book in our Awaken Hearts book series. So book one was on stories of awakening, and then volume two was also on stories of awakening. These are just all about awakening consciousness, mindfulness, spirituality. And then another book that we did earlier this year, Sacred Bonds. Subtitle is Heartfelt Stories of Mothers and the Lives They Shape. And these stories are just absolutely profound, all about motherhood. Anyway, the vision behind these books is giving conscious leaders an opportunity to express their stories and their wisdom so that you can take that in and get to know people that maybe you haven't had an opportunity to meet before or to become aware of. So today, I'm really excited to have with us three amazing women, Sylvie, Sheila, and Cherie. Give them a hand. Woo! Give yourself a hand. Yes. I'm gonna be tongue-tied with Sylvie, Sheila, and Cherie. That's a lot of
That's what I was thinking.
yeah. That's awesome. So great to have you guys with me today. And so I want people to just get to know you, hear all about how you serve the world and about your chapters and so forth. And so I was going to have Sylvie introduce herself. Are you coming? You're back. Okay, good. Did you have a cat walk in front of the camera or something?
I did not. I actually checked, but
Okay.
I'm all alone right now.
Okay, all right. Good. Sylvie, it's great to be with you. Would you mind just introducing yourself and telling us how you serve the world?
Sure. So I'm a cat whisperer, first and foremost. I'm also a healer, a channel, an ascension guide, and I work with cats and their humans. And in a nutshell, I help people understand their cat's behavior as important messages and as spiritual guidance. To see your cat not as a pet, just eats and sleeps and does nothing, but as your spiritual guide, as your friend, and as your healer and teacher and mirror.
Thank you so much, Sylvie. I appreciate you being here. I appreciate the wisdom that you shared in your chapter. And where are you tuning in from? I know you work with people all around the world, but just so people know where you are.
I'm currently in St. Louis, Missouri.
Awesome. Good. And I detect a slight accent. Is that a Missouri accent that I'm hearing?
No, I've been here for a while. No, it's a German accent. I'm European. I have a European background.
Nice. Wonderful. It's great to be with you. Cherie Ariano, tell us about yourself and how you serve the world.
Hi, David and everyone. Thanks so much for watching. I'm an energy healer. I consider myself a starseed, and I help other starseeds who are on their awakening path. I like to help people remember their own divinity and to remember that they have the power and ability to heal themselves. So I like to help people with all areas of healing, and I also create essential oil elixirs for chakra balancing and emotional healing as well. So I like to heal people on the physical side as well as the energetic side. And I like to marry those two because sometimes we just forget the other one. We just focus on energy or we just focus on the body, and they really work together. So we have to start unifying all areas of healing. And I'm based
blessed.
Yes, David has I Am Blessed. One of my best sellers, it's Rose and Blue Lotus oil. And it's a frequency lifter. I work all with frequencies and alignment and, try to get people to be in their highest and best as they move through the world. So I'm here in Chandler, Arizona, and I also help people all around the globe virtually. So thanks for having me on the show.
Yeah, of course. Sheila Seppi. Sheila, welcome.
Hey, Hey, thank you so much for inviting me. Hello, ladies. It's an honor to be in this book with you, and hello to everyone. I am Sheila Seppi. I'm an author, an international speaker, teacher, healer. I'm a soul exchange walk-in. I'm the founder of the Living Light Archives, creator of the Soul Reconnection Technique, and I teach people how to really understand the architecture of their consciousness and how healing works, especially within the human framework, the holographic grid. And I'm based at Lake Norman, North Carolina.
Thank you so much. It's great to be with you as well. One of the things that I was very passionate about in terms of curating this book, the essence of it, is how do we help individuals awaken the healer within themselves? And I want people to know very clearly that this book is not a book to train you to be a healer or a practitioner, although it could be a first step in that regard. It really is 18 pathways to help you awaken that healer within yourself through these 18 different modalities and ways of thinking or addressing life. And so I want to start off with just your guys' perspective on why is it important, Sylvie, I'll start with you. Why is it important for us to awaken the healer within ourselves?
Well, I think it's important to stress that healing is not fixing something that is broken, which is in Western medicine. It's kind of something's broken, I fix it, right? I take a pill, I mend the leg or something, and that is healing. That is not healing. Healing is to bring us back into balance, in a natural state of balance. And that is energetically, that's emotionally, and physically. And I think it's important these days to, say you injure your foot and you can walk. It's the old way of doing it is you take a pill, you take a painkiller, and you hobble along on your crutches, right? And you think it'll mend on its own. But I think it's important to understand that there is the universe trying to tell you something. Your higher self is probably literally slowing you down. Sit down. Don't, you're probably running all the time, or whatever it is behind your injury, right? It's not a coincidence. Your higher self is trying to slow you down and giving you a foot. So you sit down and you go within and you don't, do your usual running. So I think it's just important to take that, anything you have, is it physically, whatever you are trying to heal, it's important to understand there's an emotion behind it. There's a life topic behind it. There's something that you need to learn from this, or something that you need to balance out. And that's why it's so important to understand what's behind it, not just pop a pill and keep running, but understand, go within, there's something behind this. This is happening for a reason. What is it that I need to bring back into balance?
Thanks for sharing that, Sylvie. Cherie, how about yourself? When you think about how oftentimes we outsource our power to other individuals, organizations, religions, culture, people, whatever, why might it be important for us to think about how to awaken that healer within ourselves?
It's a great question, David. It's so important as well, because in the society we've created, we're all programmed to give away our power to our doctor, our lawyers, our teachers, our parents, our, mates, even in some cases. So it's kind of like we've been in this program for so long in this societal setup, and a lot of us are starting to awaken and remember that, no, I don't need to give away my power. I can take back my power, re-embody all of my light, call in all of the things that I'm here to do in this lifetime, and start to remember that I do have the power within to heal myself, and it's really about intention, frequency, belief systems, how much you put in is how much you get back. And that it works that way in every aspect in the world, right? Like if you put a lot of energy into your book or your project, it's going to do great. If you put a lot of energy into a school paper, it's going to be great. Same thing with your own healing. If you give yourself the time, the stillness, the dedication, the positive intentions to heal a particular illness or emotion or trauma, you can heal yourself simply through your thoughts, your intentions, who you align with. And sure, you might need to hire a healer to help give you like a boost and get you on your way and give you some tips. But we really do all have the power to heal ourselves once we're really ready and we really believe that. Belief is a huge part of it.
Absolutely. How about you,
Yeah.
Sheila? When it comes to this idea of awakening the healer within, do you believe that we need to do that? Is that important? What are your thoughts on this?
Absolutely. I think that it is. And ladies, I love both of your answers. I couldn't agree more. So I'm like, okay, now what do I say? But the reality of it is, it's super important for people because it is about reclaiming your personal power through coherence and learning the language of your body because our body is already speaking to us. But people have simply not been taught to listen. The language of the body can be fatigue, it can be anxiety, inflammation, sleeplessness, all of that can go back and we can start to look at the vagus nerve or the central nervous system. Our body has been speaking to us for so long that if we can stop and take the time to learn, to listen, to drop in, to see, so, okay, my elbow hurts. Well, what's the elbow about? Well, our arms are about nurturing. Okay, it's on my left side. The left side is all about receiving or the divine feminine. So, what am I not receiving nurture wise? Oh, my ankle hurts, my knee hurts. Everything has its own story. And so, the awakened healer so much isn't about, people acquiring some kind of a new ability. It's more about reestablishing and restoring that relationship that they have with their own system and learning, to really listen and hear what that body is, whispering before it becomes a loud scream.
You mentioned the word coherence in early on in your answer there. What does that mean? And yeah, help me understand that.
Yeah. So when I work with people and we talk about coherence, it's literally from moving all the head space into the heart space and bringing that balance. I work with people running light. We have a central channel that runs through our body, bringing that light in, dropping it into the heart, anchoring into the core, bringing in more energy from our oversouls, anchoring it in the heart, dropping the thoughts from the busy, got to go to the grocery store. What am I cooking for dinner? Oh gosh, I forgot I left laundry in the machine, those kinds of thoughts, and bringing it here so that we can be in that receptive state. And when we are in a place of coherence, our body begins to relax. And when the body relaxes, then we have more energy that our body can go about healing and restoring itself.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing that. One of the things that I have shared on previous live streams, and I think it's worth just throwing into this conversation as well. I grew up, as many of you know, in a conservative Christian environment where the whole essence of that way of thinking is outsourcing your power. It is not seeing that I have power within myself to bring healing or transformation. It's really that I'm needing that from an outside source. And that's true, especially in any religious framework, especially Catholicism, where there's a strict hierarchy where that individual, in a sense, I'm outsourcing my thoughts, my beliefs, my theology to certain individuals. That for me, over the last 5 years, these concepts that we're talking about has been a slow process of releasing that belief system. Well, I guess I would say it's a slow process of regaining my power and recognizing how powerful I am as an individual. And, part of that power begins, as you mentioned, Cherie, in that belief system, in our thoughts, right? How much of my thoughts about myself, about others, about the universe, is impacting my emotional, physical, financial, all these different aspects of health. So I just think that it's worth highlighting how many aspects of our existence where we have been trained to outsource our power. religious systems, cultural systems, ethnic groups, um, community groups, right? Do you guys see that as well? Like in terms of how much we've done that?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Everywhere. I think it's like everywhere, right? Like all of
Mm.
our systems.
Well, and especially the medical system, right?
Yes.
Outsourcing my power there. Yeah.
Yeah, it's really interesting, though, that a lot of people now are really desiring to take control of their health. And they
Mhm.
might go to a doctor simply for the diagnoses or to get the blood test or,
Mm.
something. And then it's like, oh, okay, so I need to change my diet. Well, how am I going to do that? I'm going to get a hold of a dietitian. I'm not
Mhm.
going to pop a pill. And
Mhm.
so I'm encouraged with the people that I work with because I'm hearing that more and more. How can I take control of my health?
Mhm. So, Sheila, your chapter
Mhm.
is entitled "The Body Never Forgets." The body never forgets. Tell us about your chapter and how it would benefit someone to dive into it.
Okay, well, thanks for asking. So, one of the things about my chapter is, I start out sharing my story because I was a very sick person, bone cancer, brain tumors, fibromyalgia. I walked with a cane, MS, you name it, I had it, and I was instantaneously healed. Now, I did have a soul exchange walk in to occur, but that
Tell
set me.
people what that means. You're saying that like I had dinner at,
Oh, yeah, we're
I
normalizing
had
the
I
conversation
had
here.
dinner the other
We
night.
all
Like,
know.
what does
We
that
all know. Come
mean?
on, David.
Yeah, of course. No, that literally what happened is the original soul or the natal soul of this body left and a new soul came in. There was literally a soul switch. And this was by contract on the other side. There is a whole, I can talk for hours about the walk-in process and the memories that I brought in and how it activated all the clairs and yada yada. But for people to understand that there is a part of healing that does involve the soul actually leaving the body. So when I came in, one of the first things we had to do was to work on the neurology and the biology. I had to learn how to eat properly. I had to learn how to drink water instead of Mountain Dew. I can't believe that. But from the way that I dressed to the way that I articulated to the way that I expressed myself into the world, everything changed. And because that was so drastic, I sat back for years and it's like, okay, if this can happen to me, how can we create replicable results in other people? Because if I can heal, I know they can. And once my collective, which is the spiritual group that I work with, the Omni Stream of Divine Consciousness, when I was working with them, they said, people cannot drop into the essence of who they truly are when they're in pain. And so that got me to thinking, how do we get people out of pain? How did I get out of pain? And so I started this line of questioning, understanding number one, the restoration begins with the coherence. And number two, we have to treat our bodies like we would want everybody else to treat us because a lot of us, we want everyone to be happy around us, but are we happy? Are we giving away our happiness for someone else? Many people have never been taught how to nurture themselves. And so, one of the other things that I talk about briefly is the holographic system. So, I'm really hoping that when people read my chapter, they do understand that, as you mentioned, our bodies are not broken. Because we spend so much of our lives thinking we're broken, that there's something wrong with us, when in fact, we're looking at chronic stress, we're looking at emotional suppression, unresolved trauma. So when people have these things ongoing, their muscles start to tighten, their breathing becomes shallow, even the fascia can start to constrict. And it can begin to pull your ribs out of balance. So the body learns how to brace itself against life instead of welcoming life and allowing life to flow through us. We become, against everything occurring and locking down. And then we start to say, why is my body failing me? What has my body been carrying? is what we should be asking. What has my body been carrying, and how has it been protecting me? So I'm really hoping that people will. Yes, it is a little out of the box, but I hope that they'll begin to look at this chapter as a way that allows them to start asking the all important questions for themselves. And then there's a technique where they can learn how to drop into coherence. And I really hope that people will use this, because this was a technique that was given to me by my collective when I was so manic with everything. And it was like, oh my gosh, and as I began to integrate more and more in my body, I found all these phenomenal techniques that I really want to help to share people. But, the reality of it is our true spiritual development really can't occur by escaping our body. It has to occur through full embodiment. And that means being able to work through the pain, to be able to, really nurture ourselves and accept where we are in life instead of trying to fight.
Thank you, Sheila.
Mhm.
One of the things that I do want to point out, as you mentioned, is that each chapter has kind of a practical tool, a way to implement whatever it is that the author is sharing with you. And so that's one of the things that I love about every one of the chapters, is something very powerful, very practical. I do want to mention, because I haven't shared this in the last bit, you can get the book. We want to make sure that you can check it out at awakenedheartsbook.com. That is the place that will take you directly to the Amazon page. You can get the paperback, the hardback, and the Kindle version. Kindle version's only $1.99, and encourage you to pick that up and leave a review. That'll help us spread the word about the book. Looks like Sylvie's having some challenges here. Let me see if I can let her back in and hide this one. Sylvie, you having some challenges with us today?
I have no idea. I think it's the browser that I'm using.
All right.
So, sorry about that, but I'm
No
here.
problem. All right. Well, awakenedheartsbook.com is, of course, where you can check out the book. Sylvie, let's go to you next. The name of your chapter is The Healing Power of Cats, of course. Sylvie, tell us about your chapter and how it would benefit someone.
Yes. So my chapter is a little different. I'm talking about cats helping us, cats being our healers. And I talk about how cats heal us. They can heal us physically, they can heal us emotionally, they can heal us spiritually. So they work in different ways. When it comes to physical healing, I talk about how even the medical world has admitted that cats have, the purring of a cat emits a healing frequency. So a cat sitting next to you purring literally gives you healing frequencies. It slows down your heart rate. It helps with it helps slow down the nervous system. So just the presence of a cat can have healing capabilities. But that's just a start. And I explain how cats heal us in different ways. And I talk about the purposes of cats with us. Every cat comes to us as our soul companion. They have soul contracts with us. And they come with us, they come to us with a specific life purpose. Like every one of us, we have a life purpose. So do the cats. Every cat has a life purpose. And they come to us, and I talk about the 12 cat archetypes, and I'm just explaining that real quick. I've done literally thousands of sessions with cats, and I found out that cats have these wonderful purposes with us. And their purpose is how they help us. For instance, they can be healers. They are here to literally heal us either physically or emotionally. They can be teachers, where they teach us life lessons. They can be muses, where they inspire us to live our best life. They inspire us to be ourselves, just like a cat. They can be our energy workers. They help cleanse our homes. They can be our mirrors, and that's one of the most important ones. They can be our mirrors, where they are a reflection of us, and they mirror back to us, at us, what's not right in our lives. And I love it how, Sheila, you were talking about you have to be happy yourself, right? If you want to heal people, you have to be happy yourself. And are you allowing yourself to be happy? The cats are here to teach us we have to be happy too. People want to have a happy cat, but we have to be happy too. And that's what they help us with, and that's where they put the finger at. And people used to come to me and say, my cat behaves odd, my cat behaves funny, or my cat, let's say, I'm going to give an example. For instance, when somebody I had a client who came to me with the cat had a skin rash. The cat would literally have a rash and lick themselves bald and have, loose fur and stuff. And she wanted me to work with the cat. So I worked with the cat. And then it turned out I speak with cats, right? I do animal communication, I do healing work. And it turned out that the cat was my client's mirror. And I asked the lady, do you have a skin condition? She said, yeah, I had one since I was a little girl. So she grew up having this skin condition, and that's where the healing comes in, right? Where your cat shows you where you are not aligned, where you have an issue. Can be physical, can be emotional, but we dug deeper into that. And it turned out that when she was a child, she was taught to not speak up. She was taught to be a nice girl, can be angry, you can be, raise your voice, you have to be quiet, you have to be, right? You can show anger and stuff. So that fed deep into her, and she was starting to hold in her emotions and her anger. But the thing is, as Sheila was saying, the anger comes through. It's still in the body. So it came out as a skin rash. So she had this angry skin rash her entire life, right? But she was so used to it, she said, it's fine. It's not a big deal. Please help my cat, she said. And I said, guess what? Your cat's saying, it's not fine. You have to look at this. You have to heal this. It's not enough to put an ointment on it and go. And you want your cat to be happy. Your cat loves you so much that your cat wants you to heal this. So I worked with a lady and I worked with the cat, and needless to say, after a couple of weeks, they both got rid of their skin rashes because we dove deeper. But that's how cats help us. They can help us heal physically, but they can also help us. They show us where we are not happy, where we are not aligned, where we're not living our best lives, where we have unresolved life topics that we don't look at. It's there. We don't look at it, and the cats bring it out. And they bring it out with behavior. When you have two cats that are fighting, they usually reflect humans that are fighting. When you have a cat that is hiding, they usually reflect a human that is hiding from the world, not shining their light. When you have a cat that is restless, meowing all the time, it usually shows you that you are restless. You are not happy with your life. You feel trapped in whatever life you have. So the cats are wonderful. They are our mini-me. They are our reflection. And they will show us where we are not aligned. And then we can start the healing work, right? Then we can get to it. We see, okay, this is a problem. I'm going to start healing. And then the last step is that your cat will be your guide on this journey. Because if your cat gets better, then you know that you're on the right path. If your cat keeps repeating the problem, then you know, okay, I still have some work to do, right? I'm still not there yet. So that's how they are our guides, our healers, our teachers. And that's what I teach my students and my clients.
Thank you so much, Sylvie. Appreciate that. Your chapter is very practical. You do outline very briefly the 12 cat archetypes, which I know you go into deeper with your other books, but then also a way to connect with your cat, a very practical exercise, and asking your cat to be the way shower. So appreciate your chapter. One of the things I want people to know is in each one of the chapters, we spotlight the author with their photo at the beginning of the chapter. One of the things that I love is I want you to feel connected to the author as you're reading the chapter, and somehow as human beings, faces connect us with people. And so I'm helping you see that individual. And then at the end of the chapter is their bio, and it's got their website, their Instagram, the QR code that you can scan and go right to their website. Because one of our hopes is that as you're being introduced to this healing wisdom that you're reading about from this individual, one, if it connects with you, I would just ask you to reach out to them and say, hey, thank you. Thank you for your chapter. This is what resonated with me. I really enjoyed it. Just to say express your appreciation. But then also, of course, there's an opportunity to work with them. Every one of these people, every one of these leaders, they work with people individually. And so you can reach out, receive support and encouragement from them in different ways. We lost Sylvie again. I'm sure she'll be back. Oh, there she is. Good. Cherie, your chapter is entitled Align with Your Highest Potential, Shift Your Frequencies Through Your Higher Self and the Crystalline Healing Light. Yes. Tell us about your chapter.
I know it's a long title, but I had to get
No,
it all in there.
it's not the longest. Somebody else beat you. I'm just
Oh,
going to tell
really?
you. Yeah. Brenda
Okay.
Zybert, she won by a long shot.
Okay, I'll have to check hers out. So in my chapter, and by the way, this is a fun side note. I got the 15th chapter, and in human design, I'm the 15th gate. I came through the 15th gate. So I thought that was so cool, David, because
I
it
did
was
it on
like
purpose.
this full
I just-
full circle thing.
I had this download and I was like,
You did. You
3:15.
totally channeled it. So that was a nice, beautiful surprise. So in my chapter, I share a story about a particular woman that I worked with, a client, and how she was kind of really at the end of her rope with depression and sadness. And she had lost all of her joie de vivre. You know, she lost all of her will to live and to find enjoyment or do anything creative. She was in deep grief because she had lost her husband like a year prior, and then her relationship with her daughter was estranged. And she just, really had no desire to go on. And I met her in person at a show, and she was with her mother, and her mother had some open-mindedness, shall we say, to spirituality, and the woman did not. But so her mother and I made this connection, and she was like, I think you should really try this. So we ended up doing a healing session together. And within 2 days, she was like painting again. She was purging stuff in her house, and she was, organizing, and she got like all of her divine will back and all of this energy that she had no energy at all to do anything. So it was quite like a 180 for her. And it really touched my heart. It really struck me because part of the work is, clearing away the negativity, some of the grief, some things that may be like attached to us, healing certain frequencies. And then part of the work is really believing in ourselves and believing that we deserve better, that we deserve light, that we deserve love, and I think that in that shift that she experienced, she remembered that she is worthy of having a fulfilling and happy life for the rest of her life, regardless of who's around her. And so we get so attached to our loved ones and situations, our jobs, our titles, our labels. Like we get so attached to everything in this lifetime that we forget the purity of our souls, and that our higher selves and our oversouls are always right there with us in our corner, ready to bring us, to lift us back up into wholeness, into our highest and best potential selves, And so sometimes we just need like a shift, like a boost to move in that direction of remembering. And I think right now, like we're really in this information age, especially with AI taking off the way it is. And we're all so busy, that it's really hard to sit, and we've developed this world where we have to work to put a roof over our heads, to pay our bills, to put food on the table. So we're always busy, just trying to survive. And it gives us permission to not sit in stillness, because like Sheila was saying, I've got to do this. I've got to get the laundry out of the machine. I've got to make dinner, but really the biggest gift that we can give to ourselves on a daily basis is to sit in stillness, even if it's only for 5 or 10 minutes. Even if you're not hearing your guides yet, like open the invitation to allow them to come in. A lot of people don't sit and meditate because nothing happens, right? Well, it's like you put the cart before the horse, you've got to sit and open that invitation, even if it's just for 5 minutes a day. and be consistent with it until something happens, because it will. But you've got to create that space, that stillness, and that invitation back into wholeness. And I agree with what everyone has said so far about healing the body, and not ignoring those signs. I can't tell you how many times I had what felt like indigestion, right? And I took peppermint oil. I took, all the Tums, whatever it was, because I felt like a hard ball in my stomach, like a rock. And I was like, man, what did I eat? I'll never eat that again. Da, da, da. Which, it happens like twice a year, but still when it does, it's so painful that I'm like really trying to solve this issue. One night I got up at 1 a.m. I was just woken up. I woke up, I still had the pain in the stomach after I took all the physical medications. And I took out my obsidian blade and I started doing this ritual, like cord cutting ritual. And I was doing like this healing on myself. And I was calling in my guides and my angels. And I was like, please, cut any cords, like clear this, whatever it is. And within 15 minutes, I was healed, like no pain. And it was just a reminder that pain had nothing to do with food. It was all about my solar plexus chakra being under attack, or being like knocking on the door, like, hello, listen to me. There's something going on, so there was something that needed to be cleared out of that chakra. And I guess it was my higher self that woke me up at 1 a.m. I was like, okay, get to work, and I did. And I was rewarded for it with relief. And that's happened to me at least 2 or 3 times. And it's just that constant reminder that every pain is linked to something spiritual. It's linked to something emotional or spiritual or energetic, however you want to understand that and process it. And we need to pay attention to those signs and signals. And I love Louise Hay's book, who like mapped, if your ankle hurts, it's this. If your, lower back hurts, it's that. And those books are great for like a starting point.
Yeah.
Look into that area where, the signals are showing up for you. So yeah. That's what I have for you, David. Thank you.
Thank you, Cherie. Thank you. Sylvie's like, you got a pain in your stomach. You should have just had a cat lay on it and purr on your stomach. You wouldn't have had to have that
Right?
obsidian blade. Just a cat laying there would take care of that in a second. So you should really, I know this is inappropriate, but like you should
Rent out
sell
cats.
cats. Like, you know what I mean? Like people like Tony Ghazi sells the little crystal skulls,
Yeah,
people
they're
sell
all
these things.
labeled like
You're selling
mirror
the oils.
cat, healer
Sylvie
cat.
should be selling cats.
Okay, I'll get into that. I'll look into that.
Yeah, I don't know if that's, I guess breeders. Yeah, that could be awkward.
Oh, come on. Really?
I think that's a great idea, David. Just
Yeah, like in a
label
show.
them what archetype they are.
You could have them pre-labeled archetype. This is a healer. This is a joy bringer. This is it's completely inappropriate. So she's even leaving
She's
over the
frozen.
issue.
Oh,
Yeah.
she's back.
I don't know.
Yeah.
It just everything just started to shut down when you said that.
They were like,
I mean-
no.
The cat said no. We're not
The
listening.
cat said, no, you can't sell us. We show up based on a contract. Yeah.
Maybe
Well-
an obsidian cat or
Yes.
a crystal cat.
Now that actually could
That's
be
a
a
good
good
idea.
idea.
Or the chakras. Yes.
That would be a good
For,
idea.
for
I'll look into
people
that.
who are allergic to cats, give them a crystal cat.
Yes.
Yes. I really do think, Sylvie, I think people would be down for that. Yeah. I think
I'll
they
look
would.
into that.
Yeah. All right. Unsolicited advice.
No, thank you.
Yeah.
I love it.
Free of charge. Unsolicited advice. Okay. So just as a reminder, for those of you who are watching, you can pick up the book at awakenheartsbook.com. That'll take you right to the Amazon page where you can get the paperback, the hardback, and the Kindle version. And encourage you to leave a review. I got to tell you, I love. How do I get rid of that? Okay, there we go. The hardback versions of our books, I just absolutely love. They are so gorgeous. And on the inside, you've got the beautiful pictures of each one of the authors on the book flap. And it just feels like this is a great gift to give to yourself or to someone else. So check it out. I do want to hear about the writing process. I know a couple of you have written extensively. So I'm just curious about the writing of this particular chapter. Did you find it to be easy? Was it impactful in some way? Like, take me through that. Sylvie, how about for you? What was that writing process like?
I loved it. It was great because it kind of forced me to, well, first of all, it forced me to sit down and write no matter what, because when it's your own book, you always kind of put off, I'll write it next week, I have more time next week, it's not flowing today, and you always have an excuse not to write. And this one, I had a deadline I needed to deliver, right? But so that was great. That was good because it showed me I can deliver under on a deadline. But what I loved about it was that I needed to sit down and put my work onto 12 pages. How do you I mean, I've been doing this for 10 years and longer, actually. How do you put that on 12 pages? And that was interesting, that clarity process, that what do I put on there? How do I compress that in a short amount of words? How do I get across to people what I do and how it helps them? So I really loved that process. And in the end, I put it on, I think, 13 pages. But I loved that. And it really helped me get a little bit clearer on things. But I just love it how you can put your life's work on 12 pages and it works. And I'm really proud of my chapter.
Yeah, yeah. I love your chapter. It's very cohesive. It really does give an overview of what you do as an individual. And like I've said before, it gives people a taste, right? Of course, it's not the totality of all that you can do to help an individual, but it gives them a little taste of how you see the world, the healing modalities that you utilize. And then, of course, they can go deeper with your other books, The Cat's Secret, and what's the name of your other book?
Your Cat is Your Guide.
Yes, Your Cat is Your Guide. And of course, work with you individually. So yeah, thanks, Sylvie. Cherie, how about you? What was the writing process like for you?
Well, David, so this was my first book, my first writing assignment. So it was very exciting for me. And I felt this book coming into my field for a couple years now. So I knew it was coming. I just didn't know what it was going to be about or when I was going to do it. And like Sylvie said, I loved having the deadline because I would also procrastinate and be like, I can't do this right now. So it was really wonderful that our deadline was very reasonable. It was like not too short, not too long. And it just kind of forced me to jump in with 2 feet and get to work. And so I loved that. And I also loved the exploration part of it because I didn't even know what angle I was going to take or what I was going to share. And after I signed on to the project, you said, give the reader a practical step-by-step instructions of how they can take your healing work and do it themselves. And I was like, oh, how am I going to do that? I've never done that before. Usually, I'm very involved in the healing process. So that was also a really fun challenge for me, and I enjoyed it. And I like it because, I think all the healers in the book are saying, you have the power to heal yourself from within through connecting to your guidance team, your higher selves, your oversoul. Right. So here we are giving them the steps, the literal steps to get started and to test that theory. So it's really beautiful in that way. And I think we're all in alignment on that philosophy, which was also really beautiful. And so, yeah, it was a really fun process because I got to explore all these other concepts that I could have written about. So now I've got like this, this little journal of other book ideas written down that I can explore in the future. And I was really pleasantly pleased with what came through, and I think it was a really beautiful blend of sharing a personal story and also giving people the tools that they can use to heal themselves. Awesome. So it was a great explorative journey for me.
You have more chapters and more books in the works.
Yes.
It's in the journal. It's ready.
They're right here in my field. somewhere.
Yeah, of course. Sheila, how about for you? I know you've written quite a bit. What was the writing of this chapter like for you?
It's kind of like every time I want to put everything in there, kind of
Yep,
like
yep.
Cynthia. And so for me, it was really difficult just to hone in on one thing. And that I thought was very powerful because a lot of times, I mean, I've got like notebooks after notebooks of things I've created because I've been teaching for like 26 years and I've got tons of material. And it's fun when you're doing a class because you can just handout after handout after handout. You can tell them everything you want and create graphs and whatever. But it's like, oh, how am I going to put this into a chapter? How am I going to make it impactful without all my little, all my little charts and images, and how can I do this? And so it was a really great growing exercise for me, so thanks for that. I really appreciate it because now it's not going to take me, I think, as long. My students will probably be very happy because they usually get hundreds of pages of handouts, so I can just be a lot more succinct. But it was so important too to share a little bit about my story because I hope people can see, hey, the body does have the power to heal instantly.
Mhm.
I have the power to heal instantly. I just have to drop into that knowingness and allow this partnership to begin to occur.
Mhm. Awesome. Thank you. Um, I I do want to point out, and I've got one last question for you, but I'm very excited that all three of you are going to be at Awaken Lifestyle Expo a month from today, actually, and you'll all be signing copies of the book. So
Mhm.
just to point out to, I don't want to say this because I want people who are watching to buy the book, but the first 50 people that join us on Saturday and on Sunday will get a paperback copy of The Awakened Healer, and then we'll have. I think we have 11 out of the 18 authors are going to be there signing
Wow.
books. So people are going to take a long time to get through that book line. I don't know if they'll get everybody's autograph on there, but anyway, I'm excited that you guys are going to be there. And I know that Sheila and Cherie are both vendors and also speakers. And Sheila's going to be sharing a bit of her story in the Sunday evening main event. So I'm excited to be able to interview you there and have you be a part of that. So anyway, if people want to join us there, you can go to awakenedlifestyleexpo.com and get tickets for that event August 22nd, 23rd, right here in Orange County, Southern California. My last question for you, and Sylvia, I'd love for you to go first, is if somebody's watching today and they're feeling overwhelmed in the midst of a challenge, right? Whatever that challenge could be. They could be navigating health challenge, feeling overwhelmed. Maybe they're dealing with grief, loss, stress, whatever it might be. How would you want to encourage them today? What would you want to share with them to kind of pour courage into their life?
Sure. So my advice would be to, if you're lucky enough to have a cat in your house or a dog for that matter, dogs, it works very, very similar. You are not alone. You can ask your cat or your dog for help. You can lean on them. You don't overburden them when you ask them for help. Ask them to sit with you. Ask them to spend time with you. Ask them to heal you. You are not alone, and they will love you unconditionally. They do not care whether you have a bad hair day or whether you're upset because your project didn't turn out. They love you, they are proud of you, and they are part of your journey. And don't be afraid to lean on your cat or your dog. I'm including dogs here. There's a lot of dog lovers out there. You are not alone. You can count on them. They are there for you. They will always love you, and they are so proud of you.
Wonderful. And where can people learn more about your books and your work? What would be the best place to go?
My website, sylviesterling.com. I have classes, I have a membership, I have courses, I have books. Everything is on that website, sylviesterling.com.
Thank you, Sylvie. How about you, Cherie? What advice or encouragement would you share with someone who is feeling overwhelmed in the midst of their challenge today?
I would ask them to take some time for themselves to really drop into stillness, and if they're in a lot of pain, like to really feel it and ask themselves, ask their higher selves, like, where is this coming from? You know, like, how can I look at this more deeply? Because a lot of times we just want to take an aspirin or take a pain medication to make the pain go away. And as we've all said today, those are signs, signals, and invitations for us to invite the healer within to step up to the plate. But we can't really make space for that healer within if we're not willing to listen to those messages or signals. So my advice would be to sit in stillness, really get in touch with what's going on inside. And if you need help, definitely reach out for help. Don't sit with it alone, find a great healer or a great friend or somebody that can help you through that journey.
Wonderful. And if people want to reach out to you and follow your work, what's the best place for that?
DivineLightCodes.com.
DivineLightCodes.com. Of course,
Yeah.
you'll have your oils and crystals and beautiful jewelry.
All my healing services. I do space clearings, starseed readings, energy healings, as well as I have my oils and jewelry. And I have a workshop coming up on the Lion's Gate. It's going to be a sound healing, guided meditation, and bracelet making workshop. And people can join in person or online virtually, and I'll mail them a bracelet kit. So that's
nice.
fun. Yeah. And then, of course, I'll see you in Costa Mesa in August.
Yep.
And last thing is a retreat coming up in October in Sedona. That I'll be hosting. Yes.
DivineLightCodes.com. They can find out all that information.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, good. Sheila, what encouragement do you want to share with those of us who are feeling overwhelmed today?
Yeah, I want to go back to something that my Hopi teacher always told me. I was an apprentice with her for 23 years until she passed. And the first thing that she ever told me that just hit me and resonated throughout my entire body, and it was so visceral, is that there truly is no guilt, no shame, and no blame from the other side. Those are all man-made constructs. And we are so much more powerful than we think we are. The other thing that I have come to understand in working with people too is that the reality is we're already those things that we desire to become. We're like that pearl at the bottom of a Kleenex box. And all of those Kleenex is just these layers of distortions and layers of thought process and old behavior patterns, et cetera, false matrixing ideas, separation concepts. And another thing that she taught me was we are always exactly where we need to be at any given time. We just have to stop and look around and see where we think that we are. Because a lot of times where we actually are and where we think, when we're like in the middle of the tornado, and swirling around, we have a perception about things that really has nothing to do with our reality. It's just all of these old thought processes that begin to come up and surface. So, when people are stuck, and I have to say that's one of the number one reasons that they come to me is because I can also see their grid systems, and I work with the trauma body and removing the distortions and working within all the energy vortexes and ley lines, et cetera, et cetera. And I find that most people have this false perception about what they think is occurring in their life. And when you start to look at any kind of a situation and just ask yourself, what am I learning from this? What does this have to teach me? And be open to hear, just like you were speaking about sitting and being still and listening. Our bodies are just willing to communicate if we just will be still and allow those answers to come. But I always like to give people that hope because we're already everything that we desire to become. We just need to remember that.
Hopi Hope.
Hopi Hope.
From
That's
Hopi
right.
Hope.
Hopi Hope. There
Hope
you
from a
go.
Hopi.
That's right.
Yeah, I love
And
it.
Hope is the name of the girl in my chapter.
Hopi
What?
Hope.
That's
I love
right. I
it.
totally forgot that. That's
Chapter
awesome.
15. I love it.
Chapter 15.
I love
Go meet
great.
Hope.
Well, hey, I encourage you, pick up the book, Awakened Healer. You can go to awakenedheartsbook.com. And you can check out all the 18 amazing authors right here on the graphic, awakenedheartsbook.com. And we would appreciate it if you pick up the book to read chapters of those people who maybe you know that are in the book, and then leave an authentic review on Amazon that helps us spread the word about the book to other people. And if you're interested in joining us at Awaken Lifestyle Expo, August 22nd, 23rd, right here in Orange County, Southern California, you go to awakenedlifestyleexpo.com. And Sheila, I failed to ask you, it's on the screen, where can people connect with you and work with you directly?
SheilaSeppi.com. SheilaSeppi.com.
Makes it easy. SheilaSeppi.com. Awesome. Well, it is great to be with all of you, including Sylvie.
Sylvie.
I don't know what's happening.
It's
the,
okay.
It's the
Magical.
lions are interfering.
Maybe there are.
It's great to be with all of you. And we have one more live stream tomorrow. I believe it's Friday at 9 a.m. You can join that on our Awaken Magazine YouTube page. If you want to meet some of the other authors, we have a whole playlist of Awaken Hearts books interviews, and you can check those out there as well. So great to be with all of you. Hope you have a great afternoon, a great evening.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.